Here at the Derek O'Shea Show, we will be watching a million different streams this Super Duper Tuesday. Hope you hang out with us and enjoy the show. Hopefully we'll have some fun, and guess what? We're gonna read our fortune. Welcome to the revolution. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show.
It's the Derek O'Shea Show. Turn up the dial.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Derek O'Shea Show. The show of the darkness with new stories in the glow. Your mind, instrumental, got the vibe, this where the chaos grows. Unleash our rapid comedy, give it right away, let the madness overflow. From the depths of the underground, we bring you the noise. German hardness, breaking all the rules, we find our voice. Unleash the chaos, let it ignite as we navigate through the unknown. The Derek O'Shea Show, the place where the darkness finds a home.
That cracks me up. How's it going? Yeah, girl.
Incredible stuff.
What's up, chat? Drop a like, say hello. We got all the chats going on. We will be going through the streams.
Now they're cheering for us, I guess. I was able to ask if there is alcohol here, and there is. There is a cash bar, though. There is a cash bar, and I was able to ask the campaign.
First, let's read the fortune. I just opened up my fortune cookie. This is a very exciting time. We both have one.
Do I get to open mine too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your gratitude will become your biggest ally this week.
Ooh. Nice.
What's up, Willie?
Okay, I'm going to read my fortune.
Yes.
Your keen sense of humor will make you many friends.
Wonderful.
That's
And did
nice.
not see the incredible resilience
What does everyone
of
think?
Donald Trump, of this political
mic.
figure, and
my
his
mic
extraordinary
is off.
commitment to doing this
Thank
over
you, Willie.
again,
Check.
despite the fact that every arrow in the quiver had been thrown and fired at him over and over and over, Sean.
You know, the term I use, and I know I repeat myself, but I think it bears repeating, is we're really watching history. Let me start there. But Donald Trump defies all conventional political gravity. None of the rules that we thought would apply to any presidential
Meanwhile, I'm
candidate
just sitting here eating
apply
my
to
fortune
him.
cookie.
And we see that he gets indicted, his poll numbers go up. He gets arraigned, his poll numbers go up. He gets a mugshot, his poll numbers go up. The more they attack him, the more
Did you fix
the more
that?
he seems
Yeah, I
to
did.
galvanize support around
Thank
the
you,
country.
Willie.
What's fascinating,
What would I do
and
without
know
you,
you've
man?
gone over a lot of polls tonight.
Let's check on a bunch of different other stuff going on. Oh, heck yeah.
The children want to support Donald Trump, want to see about family.
Thank you, Willie.
Want to support freedom. You know, we're not out here pushing degenerate topics, degenerate music on your children. So spend that buck and support us. Nobody's paying us to make this music. We're doing it to help save America.
That's an incredible grift.
Good-hearted people right here. They love
My rap music is saving America. I don't know if you've seen those guys' music.
the children. They just want our rights preserved, and they want to save America. Fortunato, I have to mention, too, we talked about this at CPAC last week. You brought on Hadass Levy. Wonderful singer. She has a new album out right now. Also can get that on iTunes, God's Plan. Beautiful song. You're all in it. Go download that right now. Let's put it to the top of the charts on iTunes, God's Land. What are you seeing? Are you seeing more people wanting to transfer over?
What an
or
interview.
Have you ever seen these guys?
No.
Songs?
versus the
No.
the
They're called
rap
like,
as we knew it?
Well, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are seeing my success that I've had and a couple other artists that have had, and we paved the way for this. And at the end of the day, you know, the fan support. And I think somebody like Hadass is needed. We need a great female artist for these girls to look up to. You know, that's a big thing. Support her. You know, we're boys. We know we're boys. And so at the end of the day, we need everyone to support us.
And it's not honey doing crack. Call me what you want, but don't call me a Democrat.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might have noticed that there's a lot of energy in the Mac.
Donald, he made a music video like he was sick. We're reaching on our foot.
There's Benny Johnson. That guy's a dork. I love it.
That's speaking for the women, speaking for...
How are you guys
know,
doing it in the chat?
Counterculture likes to say no women support Donald Trump, right? He's racist, but then you got the other agenda they push that there's a lot of women out here that don't like him. that he's a womanizer or whatever in his future, in his past, whatever it was. The idea is somebody like Hadass standing up for Trump, speaking her values is a lot for Donald Trump. She's doing a great job.
She really is. I'm a huge fan of Hadass Levy. Downloaded her album. You should do it too. All of their music. They're great patriots. And I will say it
What is
again.
this camera angle?
When there's boat parades
This
this
is a
summer
very
for
intense
President
camera
Trump and all that fun stuff, barbecues
Okay,
and
we're gonna be
crawfish
up on the
boils.
second balcony.
Yeah, can we
We're
just
gonna-
get like a? Can we get a drone shot from above? We'll
Yeah.
just zoom in.
Yep.
Actually, the drone's about 20 miles above them. It's like the selfie
Down
shot.
south, whatever the case may be, it's their good patriotic music that you need to be playing on the loudspeaker. So make sure you download Forgiato Bloat, Trump Latinos, Hadass Levy doing great things to save this country. Guys, so good to see you.
And make sure you guys watch RSBN. They always show us love, always put them on, and they're perfect.
All right, let's check other streams. We have so many other streams.
While they all cry about how everyone's a danger to democracy, quote unquote democracy that we don't have, and that it's such a bad thing that the voters can vote for the most popular president.
Lot of energy. Lot of energy.
I think the asymmetry here is that that's just kind of like a bumper sticker that Trump supporters throw out.
Right.
But if they were to just be offered, hey, we'll build the wall and the influx will stop, they'd very clearly settle for that.
Exactly.
If we're talking about what's actually happening in reality versus what just they're imagining.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, perfect.
Did his age concern you at all? We talk a lot about Joe Biden's age, his ability to do the job. Donald Trump is 4 years younger. Does that give you pause?
You know, as a 28-year-old that's trying to get involved, you know, I think the younger people need to get involved everywhere because, you know, we have people that are making decisions that will affect us when they're no longer around. So I think that's a cause for concern for our Congress, our Senate, and even the White House. But Trump's age is of no concern. That man is active, he's lucid, he's ready to go. And Biden, it's like, I don't know if it's actually legitimately dementia or what it is, but it's hard for the average person not to take a look at Joe Biden and say, what's going on? Maybe he belongs in a nursing home, not the White House. And Trump, if you ask...
Oh, I thought he had just a speech impediment. How dare you guys? You freaking liars, dude.
Ask someone what his age is, they'd probably say maybe like lower 60s, just the way he acts and the way he carries himself. So I think he's sharp and ready to go.
It's just covering Trump. He doesn't talk about Biden's age. He talks about his performance. He's very careful not to make it an age thing, but to make it a mental...
Guys, feel free to get in the chat. Let me know who you voted for today, or if you didn't vote for today, who you would have voted for. And if you did vote already in the primary before this day, who did you vote for as well? I was so close to just circling Vivek just for fun. But I voted for Trump.
Huge issues. I mean, you can't have a country when I'm an immigrant. I came here from Canada. I got U.S. citizenship.
Send him back. God.
But when you have countless of undocumented immigrants flooding the border, we don't know where they're from. They're not following the same rules that my family had to like fight for and sweat for. You know, it's an unfair process.
Is there like a weird thing for you that when you hear about a Canadian immigrant, it doesn't really feel like a real immigrant? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. I don't know if that's racist or not.
A little bit. But it's like, how can you not think that?
Well, it's like, what do you really want to be here? Okay. All right.
Right.
Hey. All right.
Energy
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Any country ever has in the history of the planet. Does this president, Joe Biden...
I think it's just because I've seen just so many Latinos coming across the border that when I hear the word immigrant, that's what I picture. I don't actually picture just some white dude.
Oh, 100%.
And when you're like, yeah, you're not an immigrant.
Well,
you're one of us.
I mean, what else are you supposed to think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Improved economy, like a lot of that.
All right, let's check another stream.
Come November, do they sway to the Trump side? Do they sway to the Biden side? Or
okay, this looks like local news. Oh, here's MSNBC.
In and around Denver. Oh, we also just got, this is in the western part of the state where Grand Junction is, Mesa County. We expected this to be Trump friendly. It's very Trump friendly. Colorado's coming in very, very fast right here. So this picture may come into focus awfully quickly. So before it does come into focus, I'll tell you the significance of Colorado is this. We've talked so much about the education divide within the Republican Party that's been rearing its head in primary after primary. Nikki Haley's been doing so well compared to Trump when it comes to white white voters with college degrees. Trump has been absolutely cleaning up when it comes to white voters without college degrees. Well, there's no state in the country where the share of white voters with a college degree is higher than in Colorado. Exactly half of the white adult population in Colorado has a college degree. And this is a primary that allows, it's not a fully open primary, but independents can participate.
Shout out to white people with college degrees.
And so I think Colorado coming into tonight loomed as, if you ask me what the single biggest test was, if Haley still had that, there was a bit of a wind in her sails in New Hampshire and South Carolina that allowed her to get over 40% and keep going. Colorado, I think, looms as the biggest individual test of whether some of the wind has come out of those sails, because this is a state on paper that she should be winning. The ingredients are here. Big suburban areas, high concentrations of college degrees, affluent suburbs as well. And like I said, independents, who are 44% of the electorate in Colorado, can vote in this primary. Now, here we go. We just got some Arapaho. Let's undo that, because this is a big one too. Arapaho, we just got all the vote. These are counties that Jefferson, Arapaho, Adams County, she should be winning if she's going to have a chance statewide. We got all the vote we think in Arapaho County, Trump winning by 20. We think we have all the vote in Jefferson County, Trump taking that by about 20 points. The biggest individual county in Colorado, by the way, in terms of vote producing, is El Paso County. This is where Colorado Springs is. More than 15% of the vote is going to come out of here. Demographically, it's more favorable to Trump than the immediate Denver metro area. There's a large evangelical population in and around the Colorado Springs area, and there's more of a working class white population here than you're going to find in the Denver metro area. So these numbers early, again, if Haley was running sort of consistent to what we had seen in New Hampshire and South Carolina, she would be able to parlay that into an outright victory in Colorado, and an outright victory for Haley in Colorado would probably mean carrying these. She's carrying Denver, but you see right outside of it, Jefferson's a biggie, Arapaho's a biggie. She's not carrying those. Let's see what happens. Adams County, when that comes in, we've got a couple others, Douglas County, and they're coming in.
Wait till Douglas County.
We're basically getting all the vote one by one in these counties. But I think this is a real test here of whether, post South Carolina, as this goes to multi-state contests where you don't have a lot of time to campaign individually, spend money, all those sorts of things. Is that energy that was powering Haley, those showings earlier, is it lessened? And if this,
I'm thinking about doing something similar. He got rid of the khakis. Thank God for that. Maybe we could just do this at home, and I'll just start screaming in the mic. All right, let's see what's else going on. Newsmax not doing anything. Let's see. Check.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you make there, Tom, because slates of endorsers are one thing. They've got those in Georgia. They've got those in Louisiana.
How you guys feeling about today, guys?
That's what her campaign manager has pointed me to time and again when I ask, hey, are you thinking about what happens after Super Tuesday? They point to those leadership slates in states like Georgia and Louisiana. But today we talked to people on the ground in Georgia, those same endorsers and backers who say there are no plans on the books for Haley to come to town. Travel is just one piece of it, though. You also look at the air cover, the money that people typically spend.
All right, let's check on what's going on with the election chart.
You have all the chats on?
Yeah. Biden, Trump. Look at Nikki Haley, 43. I just don't if she runs after tonight, I don't really know what.
She continues?
Yeah, I mean, if she continues after tonight, she's clearly a plant. I mean, just
that's interesting.
I mean, I could, I guess, justify her continuous to run, even though she's losing consistently, just in case. But now that Trump's allowed on the ballot and she's not picking up anything.
No.
I mean, Alabama makes sense. Isn't Vermont? Vermont's the hardest one.
Vermont is really close, I think.
I think she's winning it. Vermont primary.
Look how close the votes.
Wow.
Yeah. 800 or so.
See, this is why you guys got to vote. Look at that number.
Yeah.
Ryan Binkley with 123.
Nice.
So Trump is up in North Dakota. He won North Dakota. Biden won Vermont. Big surprise there. Was going with Cenk Uygur, who I don't even know if legally is allowed to run. Shout out to the young.
Is he on every state's ballot?
I think so. Yeah. Or maybe some people are writing this in. Virginia primary, Donald Trump has won. Oh, look at that. Just shellacked. Utah primary, it's all zeros still. Polls are still coming in. Virginia, Joe Biden pulled out a huge victory. Utah, Joe Biden is still neck and neck. Texas primary, Nikki Haley wins. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Nikki Haley won in Texas?
Yeah.
We might as well just throw the towel in on Texas. Get rid of it. Texas primary, Joe Biden wins. Mary Williamson. I can't believe how well. I mean, she's not doing well, but she is still pulling in votes. I'm just very surprised how many Democrat people are voting. Tennessee primary, Donald Trump just puts out a huge shellacking. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean.
Oklahoma as well. Destroyed.
I mean, didn't we all expect this, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no surprises here.
Surprise.
No, Vermont might be a surprise, but that's the only surprise that I see currently. Colorado, Donald Trump is just taking her to the cleaners a little bit. That's who I voted for, Asa Hutchinson. Huge fan here at the Derek O'Shea Show. I couldn't tell you what he even looked like. I forgot, but I am one of his biggest supporters.
Skinny old white guy from Arkansas.
Nailed it. All right, let's go back and see what's going on in the world.
President Biden will win on the Democratic side in Colorado. Once again, no big surprises there, but sometimes what's in some of these numbers gets pretty interesting as we look around the country, and that is why we go to Mr. Bill Hemmer.
What's happening?
Just
hanging out over here.
Sean Hannity's your PR
agent. My name was invoked, yeah. I'm going to do a quick spin here, and I'm going to just give you some perspective in the end on all this, okay? Let's start up in Vermont because this race has not been called here. We talk about the 50% mark. Earlier, Nikki Haley had a slight lead. Donald Trump was pulled out at an advantage of about 800 raw votes, computes to about 2.5 percentage points. So he's doing better than the last time we checked in the state of Vermont. And that was seen by a lot of people as like the state that Nikki Haley could win tonight. Let me come out here to Colorado because this was just called a moment ago with Donald Trump picking up a victory in Colorado. Let me go to Minnesota just to see what's happening right now. Too early to call, just 1% of the vote being reported.
So just call it for Donald and
this
Colorado?
changes. Now I want to come down to Texas. I want to show you what Trump has done now in 8 years, okay? The state's been called in Texas. I want to show you where the party was 8 years ago. And as I go back in time here, everything you see that's blue is a county that Ted Cruz won.
Interesting.
Granted, it was his home state, but nonetheless, very impressive 8 years ago for Ted Cruz. And frankly, kind of impressive for what Trump has done now 8 years later. And Oklahoma, right? Border state to the north. This is where it was 8 years ago. It was all blue. It was Ted Cruz. And now this is Donald Trump's party. It's his nomination. The question is, when does he get there? Let me try and just get you here to delegate tracker here. Now, some of this is behind because it's based on the congressional district, and all the votes haven't been tabulated yet. But this is where we are, just shy of 300 delegates for Donald Trump. It needs to get to 1215. It won't happen tonight. It may happen a week from tonight. If not, it for sure should happen 2 weeks from tonight. So that's where we are, guys. Back over to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. All right, a live look now at Trump campaign headquarters at Mar-a-Lago, where there is a big crowd. They are excited. Aisha Hasmi is there covering.
Yeah, we will be watching that speech of Donald Trump that's coming up.
Ooh, I don't know. Sometimes he goes for 3 hours.
Well, we're talking
the former president, and it certainly provides some clarity also for voters who intended on voting.
Trump.
For Donald.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trump must be pumped up on some vitamin B's, or he's naturally just fantastic.
I think he just loves himself that much. He's so excited to talk about himself.
Goals are different.
The Koch brother goals are not necessarily transactional, but they are ideological, Blake, and they're not ideological for good purposes. Well, or they could be somewhat they want deregulation of all their major enterprises.
100%. So I mean, look, there's one good thing that Koch wants to do, which I believe is better than the worst case scenario, which is that they basically want to become the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Okay. That's what they want. They want 100%,
they want to do that. And they're failing.
And there's some good elements of Koch. There's a lot of things with the America First agenda that there's mostly bad. that's out of that. But it's just as bad with the left that are the leftists that are taking over the unions that are taking over the chamber, so on and so forth, right? So, but they want to be that, and so to them, there's no positive end goal with Trump becoming the president. There's no positive end goal with Trump having influence and taking over the Senate. There's no positive outcome with MAGA Republicans taking over the House of Representatives. So for them, this isn't all or nothing. Lay it all out in the field. You've got some old guys. One has now passed, but you've got an old guy with a lot of other family members who are there that are saying, it doesn't matter. Let's spend everything that we possibly.
All right, you let me know if you find anything interesting too.
That is major stuff by Super Tuesday. This race is over.
Byron Donalds, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining our special coverage. I want to get over to Jesse Kerr.
Let's go back to Byron
confidently
Donalds.
say
I
it's
like
not
Byron.
because they're lacking cash. It's
some of these states say that they are not part of the MAGA movement. Even
It's going to be about all the issues facing America.
Congressman, I want to be. Some of these states say that they are not
Just wanna hear
part of
Byron
the
Donalds.
MAGA movement,
Big fan.
even with the former president's win in 2 of those states. Do you believe that that's a red flag for the former president from an enthusiasm perspective, right? The idea that he needs people to show up, sir.
No, I don't think it's a problem at all. I think if you look at the Republican Party, we have many different parts of our party. There are some people who believe strongly in national defense and a robust military. We have some who are far more libertarian and everything in between. That is not going to be the measure of Republican success this fall. The measure is going to be that Donald Trump has done the job of president, and so has Joe Biden. And for Republican voters, independent voters, and even some Democrat voters, Joe Biden has done a terrible job, and they want something new. They want leadership they know can get the job done, and Donald Trump can do that job.
Congressman, for the former president to win this election, he's going to have to peel some support from the current president, from what happened in 2020. Recently, former President Trump made some comments to black voters and to black Americans, essentially saying that they relate to him because now he's been indicted and they've been discriminated against. You've supported former President Trump
got a funny
early
clip
on.
coming
Were you
up, I just
offended by
found.
those comments?
Actually, I wasn't. I was on stage next to the president when those comments were made. But what doesn't get reported is the hour-and-a-half speech when he talked about all of the issues that are ailing America and ailing black America. Immigration, crime, lack of upward mobility, the fact that people are falling behind with their wages because of rampant inflation. All of those are the reasons why you have a segment of black voters, Hispanic voters, and etc. who are going to actually switch sides in the 24 election and vote for Donald Trump. So I think that one comment is not indicative of it, but I will also say that you have a situation where there are a lot of black people in America who know about the sting of a two-tier justice system. They've seen it in their own lives. It was wrong then, and their view is that it's wrong now. And so that is why the president, I believe, made that statement.
But Congressman, I want to be clear.
What is MSNBC doing? They just kind. Almost like he's speaking too much truth. Let's pull out the cameras a little bit. Let's take the camera off him. He's obviously been. He's a very smart man, and we don't have an answer to this. Why, seriously, what? Why are they? They just like took the. That was so weird.
We got to go to break.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
This is going to be about all the issues facing America.
Congressman, I want to be clear here, though, because you said a lot there.
What is that?
Do you
camera
think
angle?
the former president's mugshot
Look, he's not even, they're not
appeals
even
to black
showing him.
voters?
Oh, here we go.
Actually, I think the mugshot appealed to a lot of voters. People are buying it like hotcakes on T-shirts, and they also know that what's happened in Georgia has actually been a travesty of the justice system, because you're allowed to change.
I love that they're trying to make this a whole thing.
I know.
Can you believe what he said about a mugshot and black voters being about that? Huh? Can you believe somebody would make such a lowbrow joke? And I don't even have eyebrows. I'm doing great. Finished dinner. How are you both doing? Hey, we're doing good too. We just finished dinner as well, and we just finished voting not too long ago.
Challenge an election. There's nothing illegal about.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, feeling the vibe.
About that, to bring a RICO charge as if you're dealing with the mob.
Thanks, Willie.
Or you're dealing with the drug cartel is outrageous, and everybody knows it. So that mugshot has actually become a symbol of the things that people are pissed off about.
Exactly. That's why people don't. They keep trying to make it a black thing or a rapper thing or some kind of crap. Obviously, it's like racist equals this is racist. I can't believe you said it. It just shows that he's one of us. I mean, that's what That's when rich people actually go to jail. It's like, oh, you're not above the law or whatever. You didn't kiss the right butts to stay out of prison.
And namely,
that's what it is for me. I don't know. What is it for you? Does a mugshot have any effect on you?
No, but what's surprising to me is that they were bringing it up again. Like, I thought they learned their lesson when it happened.
Right.
When the mugshot came out and people loved it. Like, they don't really have anything.
That Michelle Obama has.
Yes.
When the mugshot came out, they didn't have anything?
I want to see this. No, when the mugshot came out, everyone was so obsessed with it and loved it. Like, they thought it was great. You know?
Yeah.
Why would they bring this up as, like, to throw it in his face?
Well, they're trying to make it seem like he...
It seems like they don't have any
He did have
material.
some kind of quote that kind of sounded like could have been taken, but I don't know. They make a mountain over a molehill.
Yeah.
New to your channel, y'all are better than biscuits and gravy. Hey, Todd, appreciate you, my dude. Todd, shout out to Todd. I just saw this clip being passed around.
Thanks, Todd.
I just read the description of this clip and I was like, I have to show this.
Okay.
So I don't even really know what it all entails, but I'm excited.
NBC just reported that Michelle Obama has said she will not run for president.
Thank God. Yes.
Ainsley said, I would love the reaction from a woman in the crowd. And
I wouldn't vote for a woman, and especially, Nikki Haley. I'm just going to say this. She's probably menopausal. We don't need that.
Okay. She said, how about we vote for people regardless of their gender, just the right person for the job for America?
Yeah. Wait, did he try to say that's what she just said?
Wait, yeah.
Did he try to say?
She's probably menopausal.
I love
that. Wait, I want to hear that one more time.
He said, I would love the reaction from a woman in the crowd. And
I wouldn't vote for a woman, and especially, Nikki Haley. I'm just going to say this. She's probably menopausal. We don't need that.
She said.
Okay, well, that might have been the biggest truth bomb
Dude,
of the night.
That's
though.
the quote of the day.
It's like.
That's going to go so viral. That's going to go so viral.
You know what? This is somebody's grandmother. And what a woman.
She deserves to be protected at all costs.
And of course she's married to a man with a mustache. I mean, that is a real woman right there. Look at that head of hair. Gorgeous.
Heck yeah.
I like that. Are they sitting by themselves?
Are they at a Texas Roadhouse?
I don't know. They got that styrofoam takeout because she didn't finish it. That's why her figure is so good. Good for her. She's probably menopausal. All right, one more time.
We don't need that.
One more time for good measure.
Will not run for president.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yes.
Ainsley said, I would love the reaction from a woman in the crowd. And
I wouldn't vote for a woman, and especially, Nikki Haley. I'm just going to say this. She's probably menopausal. We don't need that.
I love the preface. I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah, and you're gonna listen.
Yeah, that's when you know a truth bomb is about to be dropped, and y'all better watch out. 'Cause it's about to be Nagasaki up in this mother effort.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to another stream. Let's check in MSNBC. I was hoping to see a little meltdown from some of these channels.
System that's too focused on politics and not focused on following the law and keeping people held accountable.
Still an open question, obviously, how general election voters in a general, are going to respond to the legal issues that the former president faces. What we do know, you've brought up some of the political issues that you believe are at play. We were just showing in the exit polls out of Virginia, immigration, Congressman, considered the most important issue to GOP primary voters there. 37% said that is what got them out to the polls today. That's why they voted. And yet you also are seeing some of these numbers showing some frustration, perhaps. And I talked to Biden campaign advisors about this. They believe that they have an argument to make that former President Trump.
At first, when I saw this on Twitter, I thought, is this real? I love this account. Please follow this account. Ministry of Truth. It's just a parody satire account. CNN is called 892 for Ukraine. 1,200 primary delegates. Nikki Haley. You think it would be the opposite. Because Nikki wants to continue to destroy it, not elevate it. All right, let's check in on our beloved.
Your screen very shortly when Super Tuesdays.
All right, Trump is coming up. We will be watching the Trump speeches. Let's see if there's any meltdowns happening.
Absolutely. Look, I think that voters right now that we have continued to talk to, whether it be here in El Paso along the border, Eagle Pass, Rio Grande Valley, but really all around the state of Texas and this region, many of them are saying, listen, we're just concerned that nothing is going to be done, that immigration is going to continue to be a political issue, but not necessarily a point of compromise for both sides of.
Men, all pause. Okay, I got another one. Hold on. It's like the same clip.
And Lawrence. But I did a quick straw poll. Ainsley, Steve, Brian, Lawrence. Let's just take the temperature as we start the morning here in Texas. If you are for Donald Trump today, Super Tuesday, let me hear you. Yeah! All right. Anybody here for Nikki Haley? Okay. But I did a quick straw poll. Ainsley, Steve, Brian, Lawrence.
This is
just one boo. Boo.
This is one amazing thing about election days is we get so many live interviews. You know,
it's like for the Weather Channel when there's like an actual tornado going.
Yes.
It's like that. Okay, now we're starting to pick up.
You
and have
get
a good time.
Amount
raw
of delegates
reactions
in the state.
We get what?
Raw reactions.
Exactly. I love all the raw reactions.
Congressional district in Minnesota.
Raw reaction.
We're just looking at a very small amount of the vote here right now. We're looking at, again, 323 votes in the Democratic primary here in this one precinct in one ward in the city of Minneapolis. But in this precinct, by our math, that's about 36% of the vote in this precinct went to uncommitted. So you can imagine if we're going to see numbers like that extrapolated across the state, but we don't know at this point. Of course, it is very early in the night. The polls just closed about 20 minutes ago here. They are cleaning up, but this is just.
Dan Crenshaw may lose his seat tonight. Is that real? Republicans. No, Republican primary reason schedule.
Gotta go by state, probably.
Yeah, states. Let's go Texas. Statewide Crenshaw.
Yeah, because they're having a Senate race, I think.
Where is it?
Because that's presidential.
Yeah, I know.
How can you find?
Jump to state, Texas. Still presidential. I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna keep looking into that about Dan Crenshaw. Do you guys in the chat? Do you see anything about Dan Crenshaw? Always love to hear from you guys too.
Yeah, who would take his seat?
Why is he holding toilet paper? Because
are more for Nikki Haley. You've got
100%.
more college-educated, college degree-holding voters there towards the central part of the city. Her vote dovetails with the amount of college degree holders there are. But as you get out further, as you get up beyond the central city into the suburbs, that all goes Donald Trump. And that, in one map with the precincts within the county, that tells you the story of how Donald Trump is able to win so big tonight. But that critical voting block that's still more for Nikki Haley, what becomes of them as we head towards November?
Anthony
that's going to be a big
Salvanto,
question.
thank you very much. We love the data desk because it can give us that granular perspective on voting patterns tonight and throughout the 2024 election. I want to bring in our political panel, Ashley Etienne and Terry Sullivan. Join me here at the desk here in New York. They are both CBS News political contributors. Terry, I want to put you on the spot a little bit. We got to know each other in the 2016 campaign when you worked for Marco Rubio. It feels to me that in the patterns we've seen play out in the primaries and caucuses, the Haley support is kind of similar to the Rubio support at various times in the 2016 campaign. True?
There are some similar overlaps, better educated, suburban, younger, that trends like that. But keep in mind, by the time that Marco dropped out from the race, his national polling numbers were in the low 20s. Trump's numbers were in the mid 30s, and we still didn't see a path to victory. And so when you look at the national polling numbers of Nikki, who's in the mid-teens.
No, he's not going to lose.
And Trump's in the 70s and 80s.
Sorry, I just saw online some guy with tweeting, obviously a guy that's against Dan Crenshaw, said that he was going to lose, but it doesn't look to be so. They got 77 of the votes in for Dan Crenshaw. Any Dan Crenshaw fans out there? I was when he first got started, and then he just got so moderate and loves to start wars. I had so much hope for that guy. He seemed like such a legit, a really smart young man.
This just in, he's not a senator.
No.
Corporate board.
I was like, what are you talking about? I don't want to loud you out in front of everyone.
Oh, please.
Gradually perspective.
I don't mind.
No one in history has described something that way unless they are counting every grain of sand for Nikki.
She's hurting herself for Republican voters right now. A lot of these voters we're seeing that are the majority of these states tonight, I think it's 11 of the 15 states where Republicans are voting tonight, are actually open, some version of an open primary, where Democrats, even registered Democrats,
Donald Trump
and
has won Minnesota.
Can come out and vote in the Republican. That's a big chunk of her voters that you're seeing of these tiny numbers that she's getting. And so it's because the Republicans are like, look, this race is over.
So from Republican voters, it's not just no, it's heck no.
Heck, but some version of that.
Variation of that.
Yeah.
Ashley Etienne, your perspective on tonight.
Guess what, guys? Donald Trump just won.
Soda!
Yeah, I mean, I think the question, why is Nikki Haley still in the race is a really important question. And, you know,
you would think CBS would be able to respond to that question.
Yeah.
Sort of had this question is like,
Dan turned out to be a rhino. Yeah, exactly. I had such high hopes for him. Like when he was on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, he seemed like a logical individual, and he just turned out to be some kind of moderate who wants to be in war every 5 seconds. It's just really depressing.
You could almost see like when he changed, you know, like now, I don't know.
Crenshaw?
Yeah, something like died in his soul.
Yeah, he started making money. I mean, there are like apps that are,
you're right.
Just like Nancy Pelosi that follow his trades. And I think this year alone, he's up about 22% on his trades.
Oh, yeah.
So not too bad, my friend.
Wow.
Too bad at all. But again, Donald Trump has won.
Soda!
Are starting to turn up and build some momentum. And
So
then there's
silly.
the Federal Reserve.
Charles bringing in the pain.
Interesting, the Federal Reserve, 4 out of 5 times that they cut rates in an election year, a Democrat won.
Have we really been
5 out of
live
5
streaming for
times they
36
hiked
minutes?
rates in an election year, a
Say
Republican
again?
won.
We've really been live
Now,
streaming
Wall
for
Street
36
thinks there are going to be 3
minutes.
rate cuts this year, and they can't come soon enough for Joe Biden. Those are the things I'm watching.
Oh, they are praying for rate cuts. Praying. I've always I knew Joe Biden was going to make everything worse, and then he was going to try to fix all the stuff that he made bad right before the election. And then when you go to the podium and try to have a debate with some guy, he's like, "What? We fixed it. We fixed the issues. What's the problem?"
It's convenient.
Yeah, well, it's just such an easy W, and dumb people will eat it up.
I know.
Valerie, what's up, dude? I know, 36 minutes. Valerie, how's Russia since Tucker Carlson left? Please get in the chat and let us know how Russia is. Did Tucker Carlson leave his imprint there?
Yeah.
Have you tried to smell for the way different areas in which he peed, just to get some of the must?
Did you save his trash?
Did you save his trash? Did you follow him to a hotel where did you know he was in the Four Seasons in Moscow?
Meet them and welcome them back in because you'd rather have them with you.
All right, let's look for the most cringiest, over the top person talking, and I want to zoom in on. She looks the worst.
Interesting shift. The younger companies, of which they're getting funded a ton of.
She looks exactly how she sounds.
She looks like she announces women's tennis.
Yeah. Valerie says poor Tucker almost got assassinated. I honestly doubt that story so much.
Oh, I didn't even see that. What? He almost got assassinated?
Apparently. Is Trump going to come out yet? What? Why is Nikki still in? Because she's menopausal when my mom had that, there was no stopping her from getting these cheese fries, regardless of me telling her, no, I don't want to go to Jake's Burgers. You didn't get your mom's cheese fries when she was menopausal? That is so rude. Your mother birthed you. Don't you forget it.
The least you could do is go with her to Jake's Bees.
Oh, here we go. Here's a quote. Here's a new quote. Let's hear from the smartest people on earth. Ready?
Ready.
Why are people voting for Donald Trump? Joy Reid, go.
But Republican voters don't vote that way. They don't vote based on economics or based on the benefits they're getting economically from the president. They're increasingly, from the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. They're voting on this idea of an invasion of brown people over the border. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want. A black person got it, therefore drive all the blacks out of the colleges, get rid of DEI. That is what they're voting on. They're just voting specifically on racial animus. At this stage, it isn't about economics. No.
Exactly. All those black men are voting because I don't know. What?
What?
Republicans aren't voting for the economy? Are you dumb? That's literally all we talk about. We always talk about taxes and cutting rates and making people's lives better and cutting state taxes, cutting federal taxes, sales tax, whatever, gas tax. You fill in the blank. We're not voting on the economy? What? Economy? We're voting on race? What are you? I swear that this is a Harvard grad. Do you think she's really this stupid, or is she just purposely playing to her base?
I don't trust anyone with a Harvard grad anymore.
Just anyone blanket statement?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a Harvard grad.
That's a hasty generalization.
Yeah, it is. But I'm here
and
for
I'm rolling with it.
Yeah. I just, do they really think that Republicans are that racist? I don't think so. I think they've created this narrative and they're lying to their viewers on purpose because they know it's an easy talking point to them. Instead of actually breaking down the reasons why people are voting for Trump, ergo, the economy sucks, illegal immigration is insane, people don't feel safe in the streets, they felt like when Donald Trump was in power, there wasn't any wars being started. Things like this. This is the why people are voting for Trump. But instead of actually dissecting that and then trying to figure out for their own base how to make things better, they just say it's because a bunch of white men are racist. And that's why we're voting. And we're voting because we hate brown people? Are you on crack?
Yeah.
I just don't think... I don't think these people are stupid, and I think they're manipulative, and they're evil, and they're menopausal, and they're terrible human beings.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say if they're all that evil and calculated, because some of them I think are just too stupid to not follow orders. You know.
Okay, based on this photo alone, who do you think is the stupidest?
Probably. Her.
Yes. That's why I stopped. That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
I love how scared they are saying that anything, no matter how stupid they look. Oh, yeah, I know exactly. That's when you know it's become so far of TDS, it's not even funny. Where it's like, we're not even making sense anymore. We're just saying the dumbest, most insane thought we could possibly put our mind together for. Remember how Trump was supposed to be in court right now the day before Super Tuesday, then he appeals goes? Yes, I do. Yes, I do remember. And
China
is the problem. I remember. Let's see if Donald Trump is speaking at the moment. Oh, look, signing a little hats. I'm done. I can't do Donald Trump Jr.'s voice. I can't do it. Whoa, look at all the hats. Quit trying to play off my vibe, bros.
So I think it's going to really give more of a general campaign.
Benny Johnson is doing like an Omegle. Like, who are these people? They all know this week's top 10 phrases. Yeah, exactly.
See, exactly. They're good at repeating.
We know that.
They what?
Just those.
The phrases?
Yeah, they just know it. They're just good at repeating.
Yeah. Yeah. Repeat
November in the general election, and along with Alabama now, Texas is the tip of the spear, at least for Democrats, on that issue. Do you worry that that could actually harm your candidate, former President Trump, if he is the Republican nominee come November?
You are fake news.
So remember the statement that he put out after the Alabama Supreme Court ruling, where he said, listen, he supports IVF because he supports more babies being brought into the world. He supports the ability of couples to actually have more children and make it easier for them to have children, not make it harder. And his opinion is very popular across the entire country.
Governor Greg Abbott, we're going to interrupt you just for a second. We do have a key election alert from what I understand.
There it is here. NBC News can now project former President Trump in the state of Minnesota winning there, beating Nikki Haley in a state where the last competitive Republican primary, he trailed in a fairly distant third to with Marco Rubio at the time.
Okay. They say the South is racist. Utah, one of the most racist states, has a population of 3 black people, 50% Mexicans, and we all get along in Rancho. My God. They do say the South is racist. And when I moved to South Carolina, I thought that too, because I was told that over and over again that the South is so racist. When I moved there and actually lived in the area, I found out that people were less racist. And in fact, the most racist city I've ever lived in is Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, people are
Which
so...
was the most diverse.
Yeah, it's the most diverse, but also that kind of racism was like new to me. I thought it was just a black and white thing. No. Jews, Polish people, Italians, Irish. It was like everyone had a name for it, and they put each other in like little subdivisions of the city.
They segregate.
Yeah, like purposely segregate. So the North
they segregate
is
themselves.
Yes. It's kind of insane.
There were some people who wanted to write our checks, but we all know that money doesn't always win races. There's the power of what President Trump stands for, what he has done, what he will do. And that's exactly what the Republican Party and the majority of Americans, they want to see. And as you all have seen, President Trump is actually widening the people who support him in black communities, in Hispanic communities, in Asian communities, even among younger demographics. He's performing better because people see the opportunity that exists with Donald Trump returning to the presidency.
Governor, on that note, there are still Republicans in your state, in the state of Texas, who went out today and who cast a ballot for Nikki Haley. Not as many as who went out and cast a ballot for former President Trump, but they exist, and they exist in the state that you govern. When you look at some of the numbers here that we've seen in exit polling, there does seem to be, in some of these places, a potential enthusiasm gap among Republicans who identify themselves as MAGA Republicans, if you will. How do you plan to get some of those Haley voters back into the fold if, in fact, it is Donald Trump as the nominee come the convention?
How do you get Haley voters? They're all Democrats. And they're just voting as Republicans or undecided.
Right.
How do you get Nikki Haley voters? You don't. You just say, see ya. God.
Right.
Keep listening to your NPR.
Sure. So remember this, and that is when Donald Trump first won the presidency, even here in Texas, Texas was far more divided then than it is now, with Ted Cruz as a candidate. And remember that campaign went down to the convention, to the convention floor, and eventually the party united behind then President Trump. Same thing is going to happen this time, with the only difference being that Republicans have already rallied behind Donald Trump even further and faster than they did in 2016.
Governor, you know, the former president mentioned that you're on the list for running mates. If the former president asked you to be his running mate, would you accept?
So listen, he's very kind in suggesting things like that. One thing that I'm deeply committed to, and that is governing the great state of Texas. I've already announced I'm running for re-election. And
I can see Trump picking him. I don't know why.
That truly is my focus.
Governor, you talk about wanting to...
I feel like Trump is going to pick somebody that I have no idea, I didn't see coming at all, and he would definitely be on the list of never assumed that would happen.
The state of Texas, leave the Republican Party.
I mean, his whole plan, Trump, I think now is going to be illegal immigration. So of all the people to bring that forward, Abbott would be the easiest selection.
Party where you are. You've endorsed 16 challengers to incumbent state representatives in your own party, right? So GOP versus GOP here. It's mostly over opposition to a school voucher bill. Do you worry that that is stoking divisions inside your party and your state?
Not really. And we're the early returns about the candidates that I supported, by and large, they're winning. And, you know, we need to see the way that the count will continue for the rest of the night. However, that said, one thing is very clear, and that is we knew all along because of a ballot initiative 2 years ago that Republicans strongly support school choice by about 85 to 90%. And we got behind...
Okay, we have another bad clip from MSNBC. God, these people are the worst. Even my own mother, Jen Psaki. MSNBC, take it away. Tell us how Republicans vote. Tell me why I voted for Trump. Please tell me. Go, Mom.
I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the #1 issue. I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very contested area.
Like, what? I mean, if you look at
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Exactly. It's not that like illegal immigrants are in all major cities, especially sanctuary cities, taking funds away from sanctuary cities and their, school grounds, kids, closing down schools, shutting down hotels. Taking, it's not that, and then bringing in a bunch of whole new wave of cheap labor, ergo bringing down the market prices so people can't rise up and make more money, like minimum wage. I mean, they cry out for minimum wage all the time, but at the same time, the simple economics, if a bunch of low-income workers come out in the city, that average hourly rate is going to come down. God, these people are so disingenuous. Really? You don't know anything? You don't know why people in Virginia care about illegal immigration? It's almost like we're not all Americans. We're not all the same people. We're, those dumb right-wing white Texans hate those Mexicans. It's like so dumb. I'm so disappointed in my mother. I just can't take her seriously in those huge hoop earrings.
I forgot she's your mom.
Yeah. Biological. I love her. The White House did her dirty. She honestly looks more pretty on her own home ground on MSNBC. Yeah, it's because she did her eyebrows. I think she made them a little darker or something. I don't know. Can't wait till they show up in their neighborhoods. Yeah, that's what Ron DeSantis tried to do. Remember, dropping them off, and then people were started freaking out at the idea of them being there. Ugh, we did everything we can. We only had 200 migrants. We love our migrants here at the
candidates who would deliver for Republican voters the issue they care about. And so this is merely supporting the voters as opposed to picking or choosing candidates. I was fighting for the voters in the Republican Party in the state of Texas.
Governor, very quickly before I let you go, and on this theme of the divisions inside the Republican Party, if Nikki Haley were to drop out maybe tomorrow, maybe this week, could you see welcoming her back into the MAGA fold?
So listen, I want all Republicans to unite behind Donald Trump because we all agree, for one, we need a far different pathway than the course that America's on right now. We literally have to save America from falling apart the way that it is. And the way to do that is to have as unified of a Republican Party as possible.
Okay, Governor Greg Abbott, I know you're tight on time. Thank you so much for joining us here on the broadcast tonight here on NBC News Now.
We will freaking see.
And Tom, obviously, Texas, second biggest prize of the night here.
Whoa, huge news coming out of New Jersey as we speak. Freaking none other than Bob Mendez of New Jersey and his wife have been charged with obstruction of justice. This just broke.
Interesting.
Yes. All right, let's go.
I don't know who he is, and I don't know what that means.
Oh, you should. If you like conspiracies,
no way.
You need to go down the Mendez rabbit hole about him and getting away with stuff. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Saki looks like a big marshmallow.
161 delegates at play.
Yeah, and Senator
How
Ted Cruz
dare
won
you.
2016
She
show, a
does,
new
though.
experience
How
for former
dare
President
you.
Trump winning Texas. I'm going to bring our Steadicam operator, Diaco, right over here. We've been watching cameras out of Mar-a-Lago. We are waiting for any moment for the former president to maybe take the stage there and start speaking on Super Tuesday. As soon as that happens, we're going to bring that to you live. But we want to go to this guy right here. Gotti Schwartz has been reporting all over Los Angeles tonight for us in California.
Gotti, take it away.
A critical state tonight. And Gotti, so much happening on down-ballot races, so much going on with the California Republican Party and the way they award delegates. Talk to us about what you're seeing tonight and what voters have been telling you.
Very good news.
Yeah, right now we're at Hacienda de la Puente. This is a polling center that's pretty close to the last location that we were, where they were tabulating all those votes that were coming in. We still have about an hour before the polls close here. We're definitely seeing a lot more people. Voter turnout throughout the day has been relatively low, but then all of a sudden there's this crush of people that have been coming. We're not going to go inside because we don't want to show anybody casting their ballots. And we're going to go 100 feet
sort of
away
illegal
because you can't talk politics.
Yeah, he's one of the most corrupt politicians, easily.
Close to the polling site. But you were just talking about those down ballot races.
Even Democrats were against
And you were
them.
just talking about some of the things that are on the ballot that are driving people to the polls this primary day here in California. One of them is Prop 1, which we covered a little bit earlier. And the other one is that Senate race that everybody is talking about. I want to introduce you to the Fernandez family. They have been sitting here 100 feet away. Thank you guys so much. I know it's a little cold and chilly out here, but we were just talking about what's on the California ballot. This is for everybody across the nation. And so we're trying to explain how the jungle primary works. And
No kidding.
God, those chops are beautiful. Look at those things.
I know.
Oh, they're so thick.
And what it looks like to vote here in California on this primary. What brought you to the polls today? Was it anything on the ballot?
The FBI agents are watching Trump winning and said, let's charge Mendez now, 100%. Let's just put it under as fast as possible.
We always come out just our civic duty and stuff, and we kind of enjoy it coming out as a family.
Three generations here, right?
My mother and my grandmother. I guess the biggest race if they bring us out would probably be the Senate race.
Senate race for former Senator Dianne Feinstein, the late Dianne Feinstein, and we've got a big, field vying for her position. Who did you guys vote for?
I think we were on the fence with Porter or Lee.
Porter or Lee?
Yeah, and ultimately we voted for Barbara Lee.
Okay, so this is fascinating. And for those that are following California politics very closely, it's fascinating because I have another question.
Is it fascinating?
Okay.
Let's check on
so
Trump.
Let's just say hypothetically.
Still walking in. He's like a rock star.
Barbara Lee and Katie Porter don't make it to the final ballot for November, the election, right? And it's
Shut up.
Steve
Feinstein
Garvey
died
versus Adam Schiff.
Well, that's the easier choice for me. That's I'm gonna go for Schiff.
You're gonna go for Schiff?
Yeah. Garvey has no experience in politics as far as I know, and then seems to be a Trump supporter. So I'm very anti-Trump.
Anti-Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's fascinating that we got to talk to you because
I
all
was
day
like,
we've been talking.
For a second when you typed in the chat, Feinstein died, I'm like, yeah. It just hit me. It was like
jungle primary. If
September.
You're just joining us and you're like, what jungle primary?
They're
are you
licking
talking
the
about?
chops.
In California.
All right, let's look at another stream. Donald Trump is still coming in. What? Who is this guy? They are talking that kid. He's still talking.
Among younger demographics, he's performing better because people see the opportunity that exists with Donald Trump returning to the presidency.
Governor, on that note, there are still
Texas.
Republicans in your state, in the state of Texas, who went out today and who cast a ballot for Nikki Haley. Not as many as who went out and cast a ballot for former President Trump, but they exist, and they exist in the state that you govern.
Here, and not just because I'm standing on a street corner.
All right, let's keep going through, see what's going on. Should we check it? You tell me which one we should watch.
Okay.
Not this one, obviously. Look at, dude.
A lot of material there.
Abbott is making the rounds right now. He's on ABC now
That
too.
took place in Virginia.
What is going on?
Madison.
There's something going on with Abbott. Do you think he's going to be the VP pick?
Dude, he might. He might be. You might be right.
The longer this goes on, it makes me wonder.
Smugglers here at the cartels. So the point is that Texas is dealing with cartels who are smuggling people across the border. Just as
what?
Start Googling Abbott VP and see if anything comes
If anything, Abbott VP for Trump. There's no way there's already. He's on the short list 4 days ago. Nothing new. Nothing new.
All right.
Constitution
but it's still in
that
play.
authorizes states to use their militia, as James Madison said we could, to defend ourselves from an invasion when the federal government refuses to do so, which it is refusing to do so.
A federal judge has already said that it's not an invasion under the Constitution. My question was about the harm that kind of language can do.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sure, I meant to clarify you on that. So anyway, that federal judge, the Fifth Circuit Federal Court of Appeals, has put a stay on that one single federal judge's ruling, and the Fifth Circuit Federal Court of Appeals is going to be taking it up. And the verbiage is not intended to rile up people to commit crimes. Texas, let me be clear about this. Texas is a law and order state, and we will go after anybody who harms anybody else. If you're an American citizen and you come to the state of Texas to try to harm somebody, we will arrest you and put you in jail. Same thing goes for any of our fellow Texans.
All right, Governor, thank you. I've got
one more thing.
One more quick question. Run out of time here. On another subject, a lot of attention to Alabama's Supreme Court decision concerning IVF.
Oh,
you
my
described
gosh.
yourself as a pro.
He literally just answered this question on NBC.
Exception for you and are fertilized embryos in those clinics human beings?
So what Texas has done in our law, in a law that I actually signed, it exempted fertilized embryos from the abortion laws in the state of Texas. But more importantly here is the statement that President Trump put out, and that was one that supports in vitro fertilization. And it's a position that's supported by a majority of Americans.
All right. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, we thank you for being with us. Thanks very much. Good luck. Oh. And, and we appreciate you being here. And I should just ask.
All right, I'll check in and see what Trump's doing.
Okay, I must announce my departure.
Okay.
I'm going to go rest my knee now.
All right, see you later.
It has been a time.
It has been a time. See ya, AI. Abbott doesn't want to neglect Texas. He loves Texas. He'll want to run for governor again. Yeah, you're probably right, but you never know, man. You never know. I feel like the more I think about Abbott, he might be a really good shout out. Not necessarily saying that he'd be a good candidate, but it would make sense the more that I think about it.
We have Fox Team coverage with Peter Ducey live at the White House, Aisha Hasni at the Trump campaign headquarters, where we're waiting.
Who do you guys think in the chat? Who do you guys think that Trump would actually pick?
Is following Team Haley in South Carolina. So, Bill, let's start with you.
Yeah, Martha, good evening to you. It has been quiet from the Haley campaign for the better part of 3 hours.
Don't be rude.
Now. The last time we heard from them, they told us they were having a private watch party with campaign staff and that everybody was in a good mood. But you take a look at some of these early returns from states she spent a lot of time in recent days, probably not going the way they had hoped so far. One of the states she was expected to have a better shot in, as you guys just mentioned, is Vermont. Right now, that is neck and neck. It is too close to call. Vermont, Nikki Haley was there on Sunday. She had a campaign event in Burlington.
You think Trump's going to pick Vivek? I do wonder. I haven't seen Vivek in a minute.
A reaction to that neck and
it's almost like he's preparing himself for it.
In Vermont, we have not heard back from them yet. But look, Nikki Haley is still chasing her first state win in this primary. You guys mentioned she won the District of Columbia. She has not won a state yet.
Yeah,
will she be able to bring in
Haley.
Vermont? We will see. But she's looking for any kind of momentum she could get.
I mean, even if you just win one state, you're really going to celebrate that in front of the country and say it with your chest. I won D.C. and Vermont.
Is live at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. The former president again expected to speak in about 13 minutes. That's what the campaign's saying. This is quite something. This comeback politically, Aisha, in the big picture, if you think about where we were a couple of years ago,
Vermont
is pretty remarkable.
It's absolutely remarkable, guys. But anyone that you talk to here would tell you they knew it all along. These are
that's close.
Ride or dies, your hardcore Trump supporters that have come out. Some folks, liked Governor Ron DeSantis. I was talking with 2 young ladies here, staffers with the state legislature, and they were telling me.
Valerie, I love that you're Russian. Wait, she won D.C. or Washington State? She won D.C. Not even a real state.
No brainer. It's going to.
Not yet.
Color here. We are waiting for the former president's remarks. Right now, I'm told he's watching the results come in, surrounded by his family. We don't know if there are any notable former presidential candidates with him here tonight, or if he's going to bring anyone with him up on the stage. I'm told by the campaign that it's really a game time decision for the former president, that he'll just decide what he feels like before he comes on stage, and then we'll see where he goes from there. But what will be interesting tonight, and the former president really has.
I'm hoping Donald Trump announces his VP tonight. That's what I am hoping. We'll see.
On her to step down.
I think it'd be an interesting move.
Especially if this is a clean sweep, which is really the way it's going right now. But I can tell you, people are so energized. It's electric. It really does feel like a general election watch party here tonight in Mar-a-Lago. Back to you.
Aisha, thank you. We'll head back when the former president hits the stage.
All right. So meanwhile, President Biden is watching all of this unfold at the White House as he continues to rack up delegates on this Super Tuesday. He's an incumbent, obviously, so it's a little bit of a different picture for him. Peter Doocy is there tonight. Peter, want to hear what you are hearing there, but it is interesting that Massachusetts and North Carolina both have around 10% of no preference voters in the Democrat races in both of those states. But what are you hearing there at the White House?
Martha, we have some breaking news here, something I didn't expect to say on Super Tuesday, standing just a few dozen yards away from where President Biden sits tonight. We have reaction from the Biden campaign about President Biden's defeat in American Samoa by Jason Palmer. His website is down right now, probably crashed, a lot of new interest in him. So we don't know a ton about this entrepreneur's platform, but a source in Wilmington tells me in American Samoa, there are less than 500 votes expected, uncommitted there, won in 2016 with 45% over Bernie and Clinton, so some unique politics there.
Bing, bing,
that is not
bong,
a first.
bing,
President
bing,
Biden did not win American Samoa in 2020. Michael Bloomberg did. We don't think that Jason Palmer spent $500 million on ads, but the rest of the night seems like it's going pretty well for President Biden. Everybody that we've talked to at the campaign headquarters in Delaware is focusing on, I asked them basically, what are you guys seeing? They sent over a list, not about Democratic rivals, but about what they see as Trump's weakness with moderates and with Haley supporters. So in Delaware, they are in general election mode. We don't expect to see President Biden on camera this evening, but we should hear from him in some way and soon.
You are
Martha.
fake news.
All right, Peter, thank you very much.
We're back with our panel now in studio. Mark Thiessen, if you're the president or his campaign, and you see these recent polls, a string of them, including New York Times Siena poll, that has you underwater and all the major issues that you see voters caring about, what are you thinking at this moment, 8 months to the day from the general election?
Well, first of all, you and I are the only people in this panel who've been to American Samoa together.
That's true. At the Pentagon,
so we'll have some searing insights into the politics of American Samoa in a moment. But if you're Joe Biden, I mean, he's the most unpopular president in the history of presidential polling. His disapproval right now is double what Donald Trump was at the same time in 2020. So he's incredibly vulnerable.
Carrie Lake.
This is the moment for Donald Trump to turn around and pivot to the general election and reach out to those disaffected Democrats and trying to bring them into his coalition. You know, Juan was talking about Michigan and how, well, those Arab American voters are never going to come around to Donald Trump. His problem in Michigan isn't just Arab Americans, it's auto workers who've been hurt by his EV policies. Biden's problem, his EV policies, and he actually just pulled back on his EV mandates because he knows that. Those are people who could vote for Donald Trump. So Trump needs to reach out to disaffected Democrats, and he needs to bring the Haley voters into his coalition. He needs to make a concerted effort. His problem right now is not never.
You cannot bring these voters in. These voters, I think, are a net loss. They might vote in spite because they hate Joe Biden, but this is the part about politics I hate. It's like you need to be bringing these people into the fold. You know, you need to change your rhetoric. You need to change the way you talk. You need to change your whole personality. And then it just becomes so fake. It's like you don't need to put on a show for Nikki Haley voters. There's not that many.
Even voting for Joe Biden or even a third-party candidate, that could cost him the election. So he needs to pivot now and do what successful two-term presidents do, which is not just feed their base, expand their base.
Katie, what do you say about that?
Well, I think it's up to Haley voters as well to come back into the fold. You've had Donald Trump a few times trying to discuss bringing them back, and Nikki Haley continues this effort to try and gain delegates and maybe get some leverage for some kind of position. But he's talked about this a little bit. He's gone back as she has also hurled insults towards him. But when it comes to what we're watching, we are watching a general election. We are seeing tonight this big party at Mar-a-Lago. They're raring to go. The Trump campaign this time around is much more organized than it was last time around. And Americans have a fresh memory in a way that's very unique in this situation because they can remember what their lives were like under Donald Trump. They don't have to remember 30 years ago. They don't have to look at a set of Republican policies. They remember. They can directly compare it to what they're getting now. And when it comes to Joe Biden, he is underwater on every single issue with independents, with his own party. He is losing his coalition. He is in a deep hole, and he doesn't have a ladder yet to try and climb out of it. And I think the question on the uncommitted voters, especially in Michigan, those voters are being driven by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Yes. She is leading that. So who is Joe Biden going to have to really cater to bring Michigan into the fold, to bring other states into the fold of people who are upset about his policies, especially when it comes to foreign policy? And finally, I'll say the issues obviously matter here with Joe Biden giving the State of the Union later this week. For Republicans, immigration is number one. For Democrats, it's abortion. The number two issue is the economy. And Americans believe that the cost for them will go up under Biden and down under Trump. So we'll see if they can hone in on that.
You guys in the chat, what do you think that says about the voters? Republicans are concerned more about illegal immigration, and Democrats are concerned more about abortion. Get in the chat. Let me know your thoughts.
Message.
Charles, about costs, we are going to hear in the State of the Union a TikTok of different numbers, and you deal with them on your show all the time. The Biden folks talking about what the good numbers are, but we've been talking about how people feel about things.
Right.
When you talk about the economy in this environment politically, how do you see it?
You know, for me, the election is about big government, big spending, what they call modern monetary theory, that the government, no one should suffer. This is the ideology. No one should suffer if the government prints money. Now, the folks who believe in this modern monetary theory do acknowledge that it creates inflation. In fact, there's a scheme they use, a sink. They pour the water, is pouring into the sink, and the water that pours over the sink is inflation. They say if you reelect President Biden, we'll do it right this time, because we did the greatest experiment in history of free money. That last $1.9 trillion, you layer on that, don't pay your rent, don't pay your school bills. We had trillions and trillions of dollars cascading into this economy, and it's like going out to the bar. At 10 o'clock at night, it felt great. Midnight, it felt fantastic.
Valerie says, Democrats cannot admit defeat on abortion and allowing crazy immigrant crisis. Yeah,
we'll take a little bit of this water out.
That's because I feel like they pander to women. And so they're only trying to pull on their emotional heartstrings in order to get them to vote.
That's why we have two things in economics. Nominal numbers, what they are on the surface. Adjusted numbers, what we...
I mean, it's what they say. It's like they tell black people that the right is racist, and they tell women that they want to take your rights away. It's just like a repetitive cycle. I'm hoping that Katie Porter wins California. I love her.
Over $10 and walked out with 2 bags.
Where's she at?
And then a year later, you went with $10 and walked out 1 bag. Or $15 and walked out 1 bag. You're saying, I didn't make it much further. So I can brag and say, listen, I put $15 in your pocket. You look at me, yeah, but I only came out with 1 bag. So that's where the American public is, and that's why it's so intriguing. Because President Biden and the media have tried desperately to convince Americans that they're doing better than they are, to the point of insulting them. Like, how dumb can you be? You're doing fantastic.
To beat Adam Schiff? That'd be nuts.
Really I want to ask Juan this question, because you look at these stunning numbers of
Good luck.
Black voters and Hispanic voters. 23 points move with Hispanic voters towards Trump. President Biden has about 60%, 2/3 of the black vote. Why is that?
Why is President Trump, former President Trump, increasing, is what you're asking me?
Dramatically.
Well, I don't think it's that dramatic, but
23-point move?
Well, I think a lot of this has to do, again, with, my perception is we're watching the Trump show. Everything is about Trump. And I think for people who are, as Charles was talking about, discontented and saying, well, you know what, we put a lot of energy into Joe Biden and a lot of hope, and we thought things would change radically. And instead, things have not changed radically. I haven't seen a big increase in my wages or whatever.
But those voters have been historically very dedicated to the...
I can't believe how long Wadden Williams has lasted on Fox News, which ended up costing elections their own fault. They had better policies. What do you like about Katie Porter, Mike?
So that's more than just there's a big show going on.
Was he not retired from the 5? Yeah. He was so tired of Greg Gutfeld or something like that. I don't remember.
Young black men are coming from.
Right.
This is not the same black voter that voted for Hillary Clinton, which are mostly older black women, who, by the way, are still predominantly in the Democratic camp. If you listen, for instance, like my son, I've listened to rap music for the last 20 years. You can hear the transformation of, hey, I've got on a gold watch, to I rep a liquor company, to I own a liquor company. They are talking about prosperity. The hottest conversation in black America right now is generational wealth. Generational wealth. You know what they're saying? You know what? You can't get my vote if you promise me higher minimum wage. No, thank you. You can't get my vote if you promise me nicer public housing. No, thank you. You cannot get my vote anymore. I want an economic backdrop where if I pull myself up by the bootstraps, maybe one day I'll have a private jet and I'll have generational wealth. That's
well,
a big
I think there are people like that, Charles. I just don't think that's what we're talking about. I don't think that represents the black vote in America. When we talk about
prosperity and economics, that's depressing. I feel like abortion for Republicans is more of a virtue signal. They care more about who is filling their pockets when it comes down to it. Yeah, I think it just depends on the Republican. Love pretty much everything about her, but maybe that's because I'm a liberal. Well, you didn't even say, Mike, what do you like about her? Just because she has a blue ticket? You sound like my mom. Just kidding. My mom knows policies.
Spin, Bill Hemmer, you're looking at a couple of things as we look live at Mar-a-Lago. This is the Democratic primary.
Yeah, a couple observations here. You guys are talking about the low poll numbers for Joe Biden. This is what we're seeing in North Carolina. Okay, the race has been called. You got about 81% reporting. Uncommitted is in double digits.
I'm not too concerned about Joe Biden's numbers. Why would people even vote for Joe Biden at this point? Unless you're like hate him and you want Marianne Williamson or RFK or whatever.
You got about 20% of the vote counted. You're just shy of 10% for uncommitted in Massachusetts as well. And then pop over here to Minnesota. Some people think this could be a battleground state.
Dude, one of my favorite clips of Charles is him and Dave Portnoy yelling at each other. And when he told Dave Portnoy on Fox Business, I think, they were talking about meme stocks, and then he called him a little bitch on Fox Business.
State of Vermont here. Just want to make a point here, okay? Nikki Haley is taking a lead over Donald Trump in Vermont. So when he made the prediction earlier today at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
Pro-middle class isn't Republican politicians? Mike, you got to do your research, brother.
President Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Come on. You liberals love the upper class. You love the elites. That's why you like taxing all the rich and then making just the richest people the richest, and then taxing businesses, and then making the major corporations the only profitable businesses in the areas, and mom and pop businesses don't thrive. I don't know your pro-middle class. That's not a statement. That's not a policy.
He's having a big win.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Being pro-middle class. Nope, you're uneducated. Yeah, I know. I have a master's degree. I'm an idiot.
This is highly unusual.
I'm so stupid. Help me, Mike. I'm uneducated.
I'll say for
You probably live in mommy's basement. Yeah, I live in your mom's basement, dude.
We had the Supreme Court unanimous ruling. That was a big moment. The audience he has tonight could be one of the big.
Oh, Mike, you're wimp. Oh my God. How old are you, Mike? How old are you? Like 56? Did you just call me a wimp?
And listen in. I think the president is about to begin speaking.
Thank you very much. They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. This is a big one. And they tell me, the pundits and otherwise, that there's never been one like this. There's never been anything so conclusive. This was an amazing night, an amazing day. It's been an incredible period of time in our country's history. It's been sad in so many ways, but I think it's going to be inspiring because we're going to do something that, frankly, nobody's been able to do for a long time. We've watched our country take a great beating over the last 3 years, and nobody thought a thing like this would be possible. We wouldn't have Russia attacking Ukraine. We wouldn't have Israel being attacked. Iran, as you know, was broke. When I was running things, they were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas. They didn't have money for Hezbollah. We had no inflation. Inflation is destroying the middle class. It's destroying everything. Inflation, if you look back over the history, hundreds of years back, inflation is called a country buster. And that's what it's doing to our country. What's happened with inflation has been unbelievable. A lot of people say, a lot of experts have said the stock market's the only thing that's doing well, and that's doing well because our poll numbers are so much higher than
I love
Joe Biden's.
Joe Biden's.
He's the worst president in the history of our country. There's never been anything like what's happening to our country. Today it was announced that 325,000 people were flown in from parts unknown. Migrants were flown in airplane, not going through borders, not going through that great Texas barrier that I was with the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, the other day, and we were looking at the job they're doing. But in
I'm telling you, he's gonna announce Greg Abbott.
Arizona, because those governors aren't doing anything. They're doing nothing. But today it was just announced before I came out. It was unbelievable. I said, that must be a mistake. They flew 325,000 migrants, flew them in over the borders into our country. So that really tells you where they're coming from. They want open borders, and open borders are going to destroy our country. We need borders, and we need free and fair elections, or we don't have a country. This is an incredible group of people. So many celebrities that I'm not going to introduce any, because I'm just going to get myself in trouble if I do that, because I'll leave out most of you. But this is a room chock full of incredible, talented people, like some of the guys standing right in front of me, right?
Yeah,
big
like.
futures, big, fat, beautiful futures. Oh, I'd love to be your age. I'd pay you a lot of money to be your age. But we have some tremendously talented people in this room, including tremendously talented political people that have helped me right from the beginning. We had the safest border in the history of our country. We built 571 miles of wall. We had Mexico supply us with 28,000 soldiers because we wanted them, that's why. And they said, we won't do that. I said, yes, you will, you will. And in the end, they did. It was an easy negotiation, but we had the safest border, the best numbers we've ever had, and now we have the worst numbers probably in the history of the world. It's sad to see what's happening to our cities. Our cities are being overrun with migrant crime, and that's Biden migrant crime. But it's a new category of crime, and it's violent, where they'll stand in the middle of a street and have fistfights with police officers, and if they did that in their countries from where they came, they'd be killed instantly. They wouldn't do that. So the world is laughing at us. The world is taking advantage of us. 3 years ago, we were at a level, we were energy independent. We were going to be very shortly energy dominant, and today we're getting oil from Venezuela. Can you believe it? And we're doing numbers on that oil. You know what we're doing? We're refining the oil. We have our refinery for that oil. It's really, I call it tar. It's not oil. It's terrible. We have
Mike,
real
learn
stuff,
to have a sense of humor, bro.
But we're refining it in Houston.
Do
so
I
for all
suck?
of the environmentalists,
Absolutely
you ought to
not.
look at that, because all of that tar is going right up into the atmosphere. You just ought to take a look. It's the only plant that can do it. We have the only plants that can take tar and make it into oil, and that's what it is.
Hey,
It's a
Queen, what's
shame.
up? Happy Super Tuesday.
But we were energy independent. We were going to be energy dominant. We were going to be supplying oil to Europe, all over the world. And then a tragic thing happened during the election. It was a tragedy, because you wouldn't have, think of it, all of the problems that you have today, I don't think you would have had any of them. You'd only have success. And that's what's ultimately going to unify this country and unify this party. We have a great Republican Party with tremendous talent. And we want to have unity, and we're going to have unity, and it's going to happen very quickly. And I've been saying lately, success will bring unity to our country, and it happened before. We had the best economy our country's ever had, and people were calling me that I would have said will never happen. It'll never happen. They wanted to get together African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, women, men, people with diplomas from the best schools in the world, and people that didn't graduate from high school. Every single group was doing better than ever before.
Shout out to Rumble Chat.
It was a beautiful thing. Our country was coming together. Our country was coming together. And now we have a very divided country. We have a country that a political person uses weaponization against his political opponent. Never happened here. It happens in other countries, but they're third world countries. And in some ways, we're a third world country. We're a third world country at our borders, and we're a third world country at our elections. And we have to stop that. We need a fair and free press. The press has not been fair, nor has it been free, but maybe someday they will be. They're being beaten up pretty badly. People aren't trusting them. They're not believing them. And really, it's a very important factor. The press used to be the policeman. It used to police our country. Now nobody has confidence in them, and we have to get that confidence back. It's so important for the success of our country. So important. So this has been a day that we've been waiting for. I want to thank my family for being here. It's a great family. I have a great family. They've had it very easy since I decided to run for politics. They say, "Thanks a lot, Dad. We appreciate it." But they're strong and they're very capable people, and they love the country. They really do love the country, and we appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody, my staff.
Hi, Mike.
Susie, Chris, incredible job. Incredible job you're doing. I read an article yesterday where it said this is one of the finest run campaigns that anybody has ever seen. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. It's really a statement. And we have no choice, because November 5th, it's right around the corner, November 5th is going to go down as the single most important day in the history of our country. We're going to take it and we're going to make it like it should be, respected. Right now, we're not respected. Right now, our country is known as a joke. It's a joke. Other leaders who I speak to, other leaders can't believe what happened to us, because 3 years ago, we were the most respected country anywhere in the world by far. Yeah. We were doing things that nobody could believe. China was paying us billions and billions of dollars.
See if anybody else has shown this. Nope.
In 25 years, they paid us nothing, zero, not 10 cents. I was getting billions of dollars, and they were happy about it, as happy as you can be. Of course,
NBC is showing it.
Maybe there's reasons for things having happened, but they were not so happy with certain things, I guess, based on things that took place. But we were getting along with everybody. We were getting along, and we were respected by everybody. We had no wars. Remember when I had the debate with Hillary Clinton? She said, look at him, look at that personality. He's going to cause wars. I said, no, my personality is going to keep us out of wars, and that's what happened.
Like, I genuinely believe there are people that are voting for Trump based purely on that they are so tired of war.
For 20 years they were fighting ISIS. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I got rid of ISIS 100%. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. And we had no wars, and we stopped wars. We weren't getting along with a lot of countries. All of a sudden, North Korea, which is a serious nuclear power,
Nikki Haley
North
just
Korea
won Vermont.
Came along. Kim Jong-un, we got along very well. We got along very well with China until COVID. That was a little bit too much, as far as I was concerned. That was too much. Couldn't take that one. But we made a trade deal with China that I don't even talk about. $50 billion a year in product they bought from our farmers, our manufacturers. They used to buy 10. I got 50, and it was great. But COVID, I don't even talk about that, because COVID was such a horrible thing. It started in the Wuhan labs, just as I said, the Wuhan labs. And it came out, I believe, through incompetence. I believe it was incompetence. Some people think it wasn't.
This is a pretty big
I believe
statement.
It was. But regardless, it caused $60 trillion worth of damage and death all over the world, over the world. And we did a fantastic job on that. We never got credit for that. Unbelievable job on that. We came up with things that nobody thought was possible. Don't forget, when it came in, nobody had an idea what it was. They didn't even use the word pandemic. Nobody had an idea. But we did a fantastic job. And we got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for our foreign policy. I think credit like very few people have gotten. And the press was very honest about it. They gave us very high marks on foreign policy, the Abraham Accords, so many different things we did. But we never got the kind of due that we should have for the COVID, or as I call it affectionately, the Chinese virus, the China virus, which is a much more accurate term. And despite that, the stock market, when we turned it over, the stock market was higher than it was
John, you got
prior
me,
to COVID coming in. It was an amazing thing. We did an amazing job, and we have so many people that worked on that, so many of the doctors, so many of the scientists that worked with us on that. It was really, really something. But there's never been an administration that had more success in so many different elements. We got the largest tax cuts in history. We have the largest regulation cuts in history. We rebuilt our military. And what happened, we rebuilt our entire military, and beautiful. We had jet fighters that were 53 years old.
One state.
And we had all brand new jet fighters. And then after this other group of people that didn't know what they were doing, they took over, and we had that horrible surrender in Afghanistan. I call it a surrender. We took the soldiers out first. You know, I dealt with the leaders of the Taliban in Afghanistan. They were the ones that were causing the trouble. The press was very angry because they said, "Why are you calling them?" I said, "Because that's where the problem is." I say oftentimes, they asked Jesse James, "Jesse, why do you rob banks?" He said, "Because that's where the money is." And I said, that's where the problem is with the Taliban. And I spoke to Abdul. He's still the leader. Believe it or not, he's really the leader of Afghanistan, but he's the leader of the Taliban, a rough group. I say, don't ever shoot our soldiers again. Don't ever do it. Very interesting what happened is that, we were having, during the Obama administration, previously, they were shooting a lot of our soldiers, and I let them know. I said, don't ever, ever let that happen. I said in a rather nasty fashion. We don't have to go into it tonight. For 18 months,
the actual
we
hair color.
lost nobody in Afghanistan, and then we had that
strawberry blonde like me
withdrawal, where we lost 13 soldiers, 38 horribly wounded, left Americans behind. You have Americans right now still behind. Call them hostages if you like. It was a terrible moment. We left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful equipment behind, jets and tanks and everything you could think of, goggles, night goggles. They didn't used to fight. They're good fighters. They didn't used to fight at night, but now they do because they have goggles. They have better goggles than we have. So I just want to tell you that led to a lot of bad things, and now the worst things are happening. The things that are happening now are unthinkable, and they're unthinkable at the border. We have millions of people invading our country. This is an invasion. This is the worst invasion probably. We've never had anything like it. No country has ever had anything like it.
Nah, she ain't dropping
The number
out.
today could be 15 million people. And they're coming from rough places and dangerous places. And we had that shut down. We had everything going so beautifully. When Joe Biden goes to the beach, because somebody on his staff thinks he looks very good in a bathing suit, until he can't get his feet out of the sand or lift the chair, which weighs about 9 ounces.
Oh, here we go. He's
Joe
cooking.
Biden,
He's cooking. Let him
if he
cook.
would have just left everything alone, he could have gone to the beach. He would have had a tremendous success at the border and elsewhere. So we're going to take back our country. We're going to make sure we are going to do it right. We're going to have the greatest economy ever in the history of our country. We're going to top what we did.
Hi, Violet.
We're going to become an energy center of the world. We were ready to become energy dominant, and they stopped that. They stopped that. But we're going to become energy dominant. We're going to pay off debt. We're going to do things that nobody thought was possible. We hadn't done our second phase of the tax cuts. Where we did the tax cuts,
is he going to call out Nikki at the end?
Fought us very hard. And now they say, well, I guess that was pretty good because we took in much more revenues after we cut taxes, and then we did all of those regulation cuts, and people were working, and everybody was happy, and we were all proud of our country. But we're going to win this election because we have no choice. If we lose the election, we're not going to have a country left. And we're going to do something. Thank you very much. We love you too. And we love our country. And we can't let this magnificent, some people call it an experiment. I don't call it an experiment. I just say this is a magnificent place, a magnificent country. And it's so sad to see how far it's come and gone. When you look at the depths of where it's gone, we can't let that happen. We're going to straighten it out. We're going to close our borders. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the inflation down.
He's pulling out the oldies, but the goodies.
We are going to make
drill,
our
baby,
country greater than ever before, and we're going to do it quickly. We're going to do it quickly. It's going to go fast. We have to get the criminals out. We have many, many criminals that have entered our country. We have people coming in from such bad places, and we're going to have to get them out. We have murderers that are being deposited into our country. We have drug dealers at the biggest and highest levels that are coming into our country. We have people coming into our country that just shouldn't be here, but many, and I say many, large percentages, they come in through the caravans, they come in many different ways. Now we find out again, they come in through airplanes, we send them in. This is crazy. But they come into our country, we're going to stop them. We're going to close our borders. We're going to have to deport a lot of people, a lot of bad people, because our countries can't live like this. Our cities are choking to death. Our states are dying. And frankly, our country is dying. And we're going to make America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you very much. It's been a big night. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dang, dude.
Former President Donald Trump.
Dang, he didn't call out Nikki. He didn't announce his VP pick. I feel so let down.
Night for him. As of right now, he's won 11 states so far, waiting on a few more, including Vermont. That's pretty tight at this hour. California, the big delegate hall, closes at 11 p.m. Eastern time.
That is
he hit all
such
the
a
main
tight
points
race.
about drilling, about energy, spent a lot of time on foreign policy, specifically Afghanistan, saying that was a big, big problem, and that the country essentially is
freaking America. America. It would be awesome if they could just pan around and see Vivek. I wish. We get some momentum. Maybe he'll announce his VP. Maybe he'll announce his VP on Twitter Spaces. It'll be like Ron DeSantis 2.0. Just like the worst. I wanted VP. I wanted something. You know, you're on the momentum train. You're feeling good. States are pulling in for you more than ever, except for Vermont for some weird reason. It's like Maricopa County all over again. She looks great. Great contour. Shout out to Botox.
These candidates.
He's teasing us, yeah.
About tomorrow. You have to talk a little bit about your record, but now pretty much everyone knows about Trump's record. So I would have liked him to say more about we're doing this, and he did some of that toward the end. And I think you could heard the applause lines were more about what he's going to do in the future versus the past. But all in all, this is an overwhelming rebuke of the old establishment. I know.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, I just want you guys... it doesn't look like Donald Trump's going to win Vermont. But California still coming in. Nothing. Crazy stuff happening, though. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. It's been a great almost 2-hour live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. See me back for tomorrow night. Also, look out for my morning show that I put out in the mornings. Sometimes it's a little more subdued, but we have fun nonetheless. I used to live in Vermont for a few years. St. Alabama's. They're so liberal. Oh, well, that Vermont makes total sense. All that maple syrup. Too much maple syrup. But I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. It's always a damn good time. We will be reflecting on all of the top news stories and clips from the day. Hopefully we'll have some absolute meltdowns to make fun of tomorrow night. I'm just praying for some kind of meltdowns. How did they pick VPs? I put 5 names in the hat. Pence was called after Trump won. Kamala after Biden won. I don't know. That's probably true. I love to be Kaylee's McNanny's underwear. Ew, dude. HVAC Canadian Rock, awesome show. Appreciate you, my dude. Appreciate your independent coverage. Hey, Willie, it means a lot to me, man. We try to have fun here. We are back live streaming 9 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. Should be a damn good time. AI Girl will be back tomorrow. And look out for my morning show. Say hello. Drop a like if you don't mind. The best way to support this show is through putting comments on videos. It helps out the algorithms. That goes for Rumble as well. I can't always respond to Rumble comments because they put you on a time limit when you respond to comments on Rumble. It's so stupid. Like, I can't just put a bunch of responses on Rumble. You have to wait like 30 seconds between each. Yeah, smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Love every single one of you guys. Can't do the show without you. See you tomorrow. Cat. And where's the bye? Oh, there it is. Oh, what the heck? I gotta fix that. What the heck, dude?